I hope everybody's doing well. I want to thank you for joining this teletown hall. And these are very difficult times in America. It's a national, indeed international nightmare that we are living through. And reason why I say it's international is because Trump has our military attacking speedboats on the high seas in both the Caribbean and also the Pacific Ocean, and he is attacking folks who are leaving ports in Venezuela and also Colombia now. And so 35 to 40 people have already been killed in these extrajudicial killings. So it's an international nightmare, certainly with our federal workers who are not getting paid tomorrow. It's a nightmare for them and their families. And it's a nightmare with our government being shut down while at the same time a crisis descends upon us, the Republican healthcare crisis, uh, where they have withdrawn $1.5 trillion from the healthcare system by snatching $1 trillion from Medicaid and $500 billion, $536 billion from Medicare, all to give a tax cut to Trump and his billionaire buddies. And so you deserve better. This economy is not working for you. It's working well for the billionaires and plutocrats and oligarchs, but cost of energy, the cost of food, the cost of housing, it's all going up. Trump said he would cure it on day one, but now we are 9 months, 10 months into his administration, and he lied because costs continue to go up. And so you deserve better. We need to fix this healthcare crisis that Republicans have caused. Um, we need to clean up the corruption, and we need to get our economy on better footing with regular, ordinary people. They're the ones who need price cuts. And we don't need Argentinian beef. We need beef from American farmers who are taking a beating because of these tariffs and their inability to sell their products on the open market. And so, uh, or on the overseas markets, I should say. So that's what we have, ladies and gentlemen, a government shutdown in the midst of a Republican healthcare crisis. And I'm here to take your questions and listen to your comments. And I want to throw the lines open to you. If you have dialed in on your phone, you can dial *3 to get in line to ask your question, and you can dial *6 to sign up for my e-letter. Now, if you are joining on any of my social media pages or on my website through YouTube, thank you for being here. And for all of you, no matter how you are attending this event, please know that if you have a question that we don't get to this evening, you can always write into my office through my website, and we will get a response to you as soon as possible. So, once again, if you want to get in the queue to ask questions or make a comment, *3, press *3. And at this time, also, I would like to pose a question to you. And if you would like to respond, just press 1 for yes and press 2 for no. The question is, are you or your family members impacted by the Obamacare healthcare subsidies being taken away? Press 1 if you are affected, and press 2 if you're not affected. So, with that, I'll take the first question. And that'll be from Cheryl, who has a question over the web. What am I doing? What are you doing to reopen the government? Well, Cheryl, I'm standing with my fellow Democrats. We are in the minority, so we don't control we don't even control whether or not the House is in session or not. And of course, as you know, the House is out of session because Speaker Mike Johnson has declined to call us back into session. And since the government has been shut down since October the 1st, Congress has not been in session. And so this is, or at least the House of Representatives has not been in session. And you have to have two houses of Congress to pass anything. You need the House and the Senate. The Senate has been in session, but the House has not been in session. Both bodies are under Republican control, MAGA, Trump Republican control. And so, what am I doing to reopen the government? I have been present in Washington, D.C. when our Democratic caucus has called us back. I'll be present next week as the caucus calls us back. We stand ready to uh, be in session and be working with Republicans to reopen the government. Um, that's what I'm doing. But I'm also holding events like this to let the people know what's going on and answer their questions as well. So thank you for yours. And my next question is from Calvin. It's also from the web. Have you spoken to a Georgia state legislator, or and where do they stand with how to resolve the shutdown? I've not spoken to any Georgia state legislators. You may be referring to my colleagues in the House from the state of Georgia. Um, our Democratic, my Democratic colleagues stand united with me. We are ready to go to work. We're ready for government to be reopened, and we're ready to negotiate an end to this government shutdown, along with an end to the crisis in healthcare, which Republicans have created. But we are not going to hurt healthcare. We're not going to be complicit in that. So Republicans have to come to the table and be willing to work it out. And so far, they have not been. Um, so, and as far as speaking to my fellow legislators on the Republican side, um, no, I have not. But I will note that my colleague Marjorie Taylor Greene has made her opinion well known. She wants the government to reopen also. And so um, we agree on that. She is the only Republican, Georgia Republican that I know who has had the courage to step out of line and to speak truth to power insofar as this government shutdown is concerned. Uh, we also have a question from Cheryl, uh, also on the web. Should the president and leaders be paid during the shutdown? Well, I think that we should not be in a shutdown, and it's a shame that we are and workers are not being paid. The president uh, is a millionaire, as are most members in the Republican conference, both House and Senate. They are millionaires and multimillionaires, and they are not concerned about getting paid during the shutdown. But you do have members such as myself, and we worry just like all federal employees who are not getting paid worry about not being able to pay bills. And so I guess your next question would be, well, why don't I cut my own neck and refuse to accept my salary? Well, I mean, it's more than me involved. It's my family, and I got two homes, two cars, uh, one in D.C., one in Georgia, and I'm in favor of opening the government, and I'm at work. And so I think I need to get paid, and I'm certainly working to ensure that others get paid as well. And I appreciate that question, Cheryl. Next question is Keith from Dunwoody. Why don't they talk about how Republicans are lying about the $1.5 trillion in new spending? Well, there's a lot, Keith, that Republicans are lying about, including uh, undocumented immigrants being eligible for Medicaid, Medicare, and also Obamacare subsidies. Um, that's not true. And so, as far as the $1.5 trillion in new spending, well, Republicans took 1.5 trillion out of the healthcare system by cutting Medicaid by $1 trillion and Medicare by $500 billion. Is That's the $1.5 trillion that is not new spending; it's cuts in spending, while at the same time increasing the size of the debt because the tax cut costs a lot more than $1.5 trillion. It was like 3.4, I believe. So that leaves an addition to the debt that was already outstanding that the tax cut left. But there's not $1.5 trillion in new spending. Um, okay, and so once again, if you dialed in on your phone, you can dial *3 to get in line to ask a question. And 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 the next question is coming from Robert. Robert, are you on the
Hi,
call?
Pat. Yes,
Oh,
sir,
okay.
I am. How are you?
I'm doing great. You doing good?
So far, I have a cold. So, uh,
Well, I'm
my question
sorry to
was,
hear
my question
that. Go
was,
ahead.
why are we not calling it, or the Democrats not calling it, what Trump is doing in the Caribbean and elsewhere, blowing up those boats? Why are we not calling it, or blowing them up without due process? Why are we not calling it what it is, which is murder?
Yeah, I agree that these extrajudicial killings are not authorized under international law or under our own domestic laws. And domestically, everybody's entitled to due process. And the rules of law provide that people in boats who are alleged to be trafficking in narcotics are not enemy combatants subject to being killed by the military. And so, if there is no um, defense, or if there is no justification for the killings other than an illegal idea that the executive somehow holds power to do whatever he wants to do, then yeah, it is murder, murder on the high seas. And I thank you for your question, Robert. And we also now have Catherine from Tucker, who is also live. Catherine, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you. How are you doing this
Hi.
evening?
I'm doing fine, and thank you so much. I wanted to thank you personally for being our congressman. I'm so proud to be a constituent of yours. So first, I
Well,
wanted to.
well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to be on this call. I was wondering your thoughts on, you know, with Speaker Johnson. I mean, sorry, yeah, is it Mike Johnson?
Yeah.
Am I getting his name right?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, with him, you know, kind of gaslighting people into thinking that the Democrats are the reason for the shutdown when we all know what the real reason is. What do you think it will take for him to bring Congress back into session, since we all know what the underlying real reason is? um, how long will he drag this out, and when do you think that we'll be able to get back in there and get things done? And I'm so sorry, and also getting the new is it the congresswoman who is just needs to be sworn in?
Yeah, Adelita Rialva.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Yeah.
I mean, and so to speak on Mike Johnson and his reluctance to call House members back into session, of course, what it's going to take in order for him to do that will be an okay from Donald Trump. And Donald Trump
Mm-hmm.
is interested in a government reopening right now because he's too busy with these extrajudicial killings, i.e., murder on the high seas. And he is enamored with tearing down the east wing of the White House so that he
Yeah.
can build an exquisite, opulent ballroom for himself and his buddies. And at the same time, he is overseeing the renovations of the $400 million jet that he was given from the country of Qatar. That
Mm.
renovation, by the way, bringing it up to standards, is costing about $1 billion in taxpayer money. And by the way, the cost of the ballroom, Trump says, is $300 million, but that's up from $200 million. Then it was 250 million, and now it's 300 million. And it's no telling how much those cost overruns will actually equate to. And just like Trump said that Mexico was going to pay for the wall that he built, and Mexico never did pay for the
Mm-hmm.
part of the wall that was built. We can't depend on his assertion that uh, you know he and other wealthy patrons of his will pay the cost for the ballroom. So Trump is enamored with doing those things. He's uh, sending $40 billion to Argentina to help bail that country out of economic despair, while at the same time failing to note the economic despair that the people of this country are under. And so, he's too busy having fun to have a desire to reopen the government. So that's why Mike
Mm-hmm.
Johnson hasn't gotten the word yet. Uh, and Mike Johnson also doesn't want to call the House back into session because of Adelita Grijalva's pledge that she will be the 218th vote on the discharge petition, which will then require a vote in the House on whether or not the Epstein files should be released. And so
Yeah.
you could also call this uh, the Ed Johnson, Jeffrey Epstein shutdown. Uh, and so that's another reason why Trump doesn't want the government to be open either. Uh, so they have two reasons. But the bottom line is we've got Affordable Care Act subsidies that make healthcare insurance affordable to people. And those rates are being published now, and Georgians who get their health care through the exchanges are having to pay double and almost triple the cost that they paid uh, for this current year, for next year. And so people are making decisions. The exchange will open November the 1st. People are seeing that they cannot afford these healthcare premiums, and so they will decline to sign up for health insurance, thus putting themselves and their families at risk. And so we need to do something to end this healthcare crisis, um, which the Republicans have brought about, while at the same time they have with $1.5 trillion from our healthcare system, which is causing doctors and doctors' offices to go out of business, clinics, hospitals, nursing homes. All of those facilities are impacted by this defunding of the healthcare system. Um, and we need to get back into session so that we can fix this crisis. And Americans deserve better. So I thank you for your call, Catherine. We next have Juanita on the line. Juanita, are you there?
I am here. How are you?
Okay, I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good. Can you hear me okay? Because I'm in a building.
Yeah, I can. We can hear you. And what is your
Okay.
question?
Splendid. My question is I watch a lot of these hearings online, these appropriation hearings and so forth and so on. And it doesn't seem like since Trump and the other folks have been in the White House that they have given any of the money to any of the programs that were appropriated. So my question is where is the money? Where has it gone? Is it just being held aside or is it he using it? I thought there was also like a budget or something, like for him to, redecorate the White House, but it's all in pure gold. So where is this money coming from and where is the money going that they have held from people?
Yeah, so the Office of Management and Budget is the office responsible for the disbursements of federal funds that are appropriated by Congress, authorized and appropriated by Congress. And of course, the uh, OPM is now under the directorship of the guy who authored uh, Project 2025, Project 2025, and Russ Vogt is his name, and
Mm-hmm.
and he has been given the power by President Trump to withhold payments, uh, to rescind uh, authorizations and funding for those authorizations, and basically shut down federal agencies and programs within those agencies. And so it's a selective process right now. They're saying they are doing it to hurt. They're cutting programs to hurt Democrats, but what they will find is that everyone is being hurt, not just Democrats, but Republicans too. So the money has not disappeared that has been allocated, authorized, and appropriated by Congress. It is just being spent in a way that is not lawful. The president is not acting lawfully. Russell Vogt is not acting lawfully. They're doing things as if they're the only ones who have power. It's like they are a king. And that's why I was proud to attend last week's No Kings event in Atlanta. That was the second one. The first one was on June 14th, Flag Day, and I was pleased to be able to support that rally and march as well. We don't have kings in this country, but we've got a president that's acting like a king. And so things like rescissions and pocket rescissions and impoundment, this is the way that the technical language for basically holding out money that uh, Congress has appropriated through whatever means it can be done. But the bottom line is it's illegal action by the president and Russell Vogt, uh, head of Office of Management and Budget. I also have, and thanks for your question, Juanita. I've got Reginald on the phone. Reginald, are you there?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, what is your question, sir?
So my question is, what assurances can the Democratic Party give? Because y'all have had power before, and did not prevent this. The Republicans played every dirty trick in the book and got their way, and they continue to get their way. And I'm just, I try to believe in this. But what I'm seeing, right, you keep just saying, well, Trump is not a king. It looks like one to me because everything he's getting. And so if, by some magical wave of the wand, the Democrats get back into power, how do I know, like, what assurances can we give that any of this is not going to happen again, and any of these Republicans who back this illegal stuff, like what consequences are they going to face?
Well, they won't face any unless there is a change in leadership in this country.
But
Away.
there's been one before, and they like nothing happened. These people are still there. I just like how and it's going to take more than just be like this stuff is going to have to be undone. These are real lives that are
Well,
being
I mean,
affected.
we're living in unprecedented times, uh, uh, Reginald. I mean, no president has acted like this president before, and he is a MAGA Republican, and he is supported by MAGA Republicans in the House, Senate, and the 6-3 MAGA majority on the United States Supreme Court. And with all of that combined power, they are abusing their power uh, to a degree that has never happened in America. It's at the point where our democracy is in jeopardy, and we don't even know if we'll be having elections in 2026 for a change in government. No elected, no president in history has ever tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power like Donald Trump did in the run up to January 6th of 2021. I mean, that's unprecedented. And then to have Republicans in Congress supporting him since then, it's unprecedented. And then for him to get back into office again, and he did that because voters elected him, and so it's up to voters to make the change, but voters elected him, and he's doing the same thing again. Now, Rep- Democrats have never acted in this way, Reginald. And instead of acting in this way, Democrats passed real legislation under Joe Biden to help the American people. That was after we passed the Affordable Care Act during the Obama administration, which has enabled 24 million people to gain access to insurance who did not have it in this country. That's the kind of work that we do. When Trump came in, first thing that he had to do was the American Rescue Plan to save this economy uh, from the Great Recession that it was in, that he was left after Trump left office. Same way Obama took office with a Bush uh, economic meltdown having just occurred. You see the trend right there when Republicans award uh, tax cuts to the rich and famous, and they fail to regulate the big boys, and so the big boys end up abusing their power, and it results in an economic meltdown. It happened under Bush, happened again under Trump. Uh, of course, the COVID pandemic uh, came into play, but it was mishandled by Trump. And then we had to had to pass legislation to save this economy, the American Rescue Plan, and then after that, the legislation, the Inflation Reduction Act, which, by the way, uh, mandated for the government to negotiate drug prices with the drug companies. Do you know that in this big ugly bill, they call it the big beautiful bill that Republicans passed 4 or 5 months ago, they rescinded that power of the federal government. And so that's resulting in an $8 billion windfall to the drug companies. And so when you get Democrats in power, You get a fix to the economy, prices that people can afford. You get a fix to the healthcare system. You get more people insured, and you get the cost starting to come down as opposed to going up. And then, last but not least, we eliminate the corruption, and so that is so rampant under MAGA Republicans. We eliminate that, and so that's the guarantee that I would give you, Reginald. If we reelect Democrats, we'll see an end to this corruption, and we'll be doing something to make life more affordable for ordinary, regular people, not coddling and feathering the beds of millionaires and billionaires, and then at the same time fixing this healthcare crisis that we're in. So thank you for your call. Next is Patrice, and I think, Patrice, you're going to be our last caller. Are you on the line, Patrice?
I am.
Okay. What is your question?
Okay. It's partly a question, also a concern. I am a federal employee who has been impacted, and so to not be getting a check tomorrow and only to have received a half a paycheck the last period, it's been really hard and really stressful on me and my family. It's been a struggle, especially since all of our creditors, despite knowing about the situation, several of them are not doing or allowing any extensions on anything that we cannot pay. We're just going to be late or cut off. So my concern or my question is, um, do you think it's acceptable for Congress to basically, I understand the problem with the ACA and the cut to um, the credit to keep the insurance low. I understand that that is important, but do you think that it's fair for you guys to basically take one issue to try to fix that issue on the backs of us employees who are still working? Granted, I'm still working. I'm just not getting paid, and putting us in a situation where we have to now worry about the concerns of being able to care for our families, being able to get food, being able to pay our bills, or just, ending up in financial ruin. Um, do you all think that there was a better way that this could have been handled?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the Republicans who control the House and Senate have pretty much gone it alone, trying to pass a bill that they knew would not pass without some input from Democrats. So they've refused to sit down and negotiate with Democrats. And so they've tried to pass this spending bill on their own, and it has not passed. And that's their responsibility. They are the ones that are in power. They have the power uh, to reopen the government. But if they can't do it alone, then they need Democrats. Now, so one might say, okay, well, Democrats should just go along with whatever the Republicans want to do and reopen the government. But the people have spoken loud and clear, uh, Patrice. They want us to fight. They don't want us to lay down and roll over and let Trump do whatever he wants to do. They want us to fight. And Democrats are fighting. And we will not support a bill that destroys health care for millions of Americans, for millions of Americans. And it's not just for those who are having unaffordable premiums for Obamacare who are being hurt. It's everybody else who has insurance is paying higher premiums, because when you have people withdraw from the healthcare system from insurance coverage, then that leaves the insurance companies with only sick older people who can afford insurance paying insurance, but they're not profitable to the insurance companies. insurance companies are able to profit when they can insure healthy young people who end up paying for premiums but not having medical issues that insurance companies have to pay for. And so everybody is being hurt by this healthcare crisis, particularly when you factor in the $1.5 trillion that has been withdrawn from the healthcare system, which is going to cause doctors' offices, hospitals, clinics, nursing homes, and the like to close. And so it is so much on the line right now, Patrice, that are we just going to roll over and let these Republicans do what they want to do? That is really the question. And if they can't do it on their own, then why should we help them do it? That is the real question. And if they can't do it on their own, they got to come back to us, and we will work something out with them. But we're not going to participate in a bill that decimates the healthcare system for those who can least afford for that to happen. And so I thank you for your question. I'm gonna take one last question. It'll be from Elliot, who is on the web, and he wants to know how many offenses will it take to invoke Article 25 to impeach Trump. Article 25, or the 25th Amendment, not Article 25, but Amendment 25, or the 25th Amendment, is a process for a president who is incapacitated mentally or physically, but basically mentally, uh, to um, to be replaced on a temporary basis by the vice president. And so I don't see that happening because the vice president is a MAGA is a MAGA minion, and he's not going to do anything to make that happen. Nor will any members of the House or Senate follow through with that. They are all frightened and afraid and scared of what will happen to them if they do anything to Trump. He's got everybody frightened and scared of him. So the 25th Amendment is not an option, nor is impeachment and conviction and removal an option either. And so I'd like to report to you all, and thank you, Elliot. I'd like to report to you all the poll result on the question of whether or not you or your family members are impacted by the Obama health care subsidies being taken away. And 45% of the people who answered the question said that they or their family are affected by the subsidy cut. That's quite a few people on this call. And if I had time, I would ask another poll question, which was how many federal employees will go without getting paid tomorrow, or who on the phone, how many on the phone are and on the web are going to lose their paychecks tomorrow because they are federal employees. But we don't have time to do that tonight. I promise you all we will have further telephone town hall meetings so that I can continue to hear what is on your minds and take your questions and answer it and hear your comments. I deeply appreciate it. For all of you all out there who are immediately impacted in terms of your federal employees and people who have been laid off and people whose jobs have been terminated by this Trump regime. It's quite unfortunate, but we shall overcome. So keep the faith. Let us know if there's anything that we can do to assist you. There are resources that are available to some of the federal employees at this time. You all can call my office if you have any questions, comments, 770-987-2291. You can reach me at uh, uh, hankjohnson.house.gov. And speaking of hankjohnson.house.gov, if you go to hankjohnson.house.gov/share your story, uh, I would love to hear uh, how this um, shutdown and also how this crisis in healthcare is affecting you and your family. So I'd love to hear your stories. So if you'd like to share, please go to hankjohnson.house.gov/share your story, and we'll be more than happy to help in any way that we can. Again, our phone number 770 uh, 987-2291. I'm going crazy out here. Getting ready to pull out my cards. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So everybody have a great evening. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.